the universe is waiting for us to clean it out. And then the universe is like, oh, okay. And cleaning it out means getting rid of the weeds, the emotional vampires, doing the inner work and the healing. And when you do that, you elevate yourself. When you elevate yourself, it's easy to see and feel what empowers you, what excites you. And then, my friends, you can have your power and peace, instant power and peace, just like that. But you got to stop worrying and caring about what others think. What are they going to say? Who gives a flying fuck, right? I've never really cared about that ever in my life. But when I was unhealed, it was more about like, a narcissistic ex, right? It was more about, well, he's going to say something. I just don't want to hear it, or it's just easier if I just go along with it and just like keep the peace. Fuck that. Stop keeping the peace at the cost of your inner peace. No, that's not living. It's not worth it. Your inner peace is the most important. And anyone else who is worth having in your life, they're going to understand that. They're going to allow it. And they're going to do the same for themselves. You attract what you are. So if there's a lot of toxicity around you, you got to get rid of the toxicity within you. Okay? Hello, everyone. Janna here. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a great week. Hope all is going well in your world. And, I hope that you're healthy and just enjoying your summer with your kids, with your loved one, your friends, whomever it is. I know here in Texas, it's been a lot of tragedy. We've had some horrific floods, and it's just been absolutely awful. Lost a bunch of innocent lives, and it's been a lot. And so, I pray for each and every one of those, the people, the family members, everyone affected by the tragedies that have happened. It's just absolutely sad and heartbreaking. Today, I want to talk about how to get instant power and peace. Right? Who doesn't want that, right? You want to have power in your life. You also want to have peace, right? Is it possible to get instant power and peace? It is. And so I want to give you those tips. I wrote down the other day these things. I was like, if you want to give yourself instant power and peace, just let others doubt you. Let others ridicule you. Let others criticize you. Let others ghost you. Let others question you. Let others wrong you. Let others gossip about you. Let others lie about you. Because giving your energy to any of it, it does nothing except you give away your power, and it takes away your peace. Besides, why would you want to give your energy to the toxicity that weighs you down? Give your energy to what elevates you, to what excites you, to what empowers you, right? Think about that. The 3 E's. What elevates you? What excites you? What empowers you? When I was writing that the other day, I hadn't even thought about, the 3 E's, or put it together. And it came together like a lot of things do when I write, when I handwrite especially. And I was like, that's it, right? We've all heard, or a lot of us have heard of the 3 C's, right? You can't worry about the things you can't control, the things you can't change, the things you did not cause, right? I had one of my very wise aunts who I'm very close with teach me that, and like 20 years ago. And I remember thinking, she's right. And that was before I did all the healing and, shattering of my limiting beliefs and all that. And it was when I would just like so much bother me and affect me that, like, honestly, I shouldn't have. But when you haven't done the healing, when you haven't shattered your limiting beliefs and elevated your mindset, you're insecure, first of all. Naturally, when you haven't done the healing, you're insecure. You're just not as happy. You're not content. And so we seem to gravitate towards the negative and the toxicity, hence the toxic relationships that we attract and that we allow in our lives when we haven't gotten rid of the toxicity inside. And, for the longest time, I thought, well, there's something wrong with me because I always attract people who treat me like shit. And for some reason, I put up with it. And then I thought, why am I putting up with it? For some reason, I didn't think I could do any better. And also, I allowed those people to manipulate me into thinking that, I'm not that great or I can't do any better. And just, you know, thinking about that, looking back at that, it's sad. But I now see and I understand very clearly why I was that way, because I had not done the healing. And until you do that healing inside, you're going to attract all that you are. So imagine what you will attract when you've done the healing, when you do the inner work. As I wrote in my book, #1 bestseller in Fuck Your Mind, you have to first and foremost love yourself. It doesn't matter about anything else. It doesn't make a shit who approves of you, who accepts you, who validates you, who loves you. You, first and foremost, have to give those things to yourself and create your own happiness. Stop looking to others. Well, he makes me happy. That's great, but make sure you're making yourself happy. Because until we create our own happiness, we're always relying on it from an external source, whether that be income, money, social status, your job title, the relationship, the marriage, the baby, all of it, right? We put weight, like we put a we put a price tag on those things in the sense of like, well, I am worth more now because I am now married. I now have this job. No, because it can be taken away. But you know what can't be taken away? No one can take away the happiness you create within yourself. No one can take away your self-love, your self-acceptance, your self-validation, your self-approval, your self-confidence. They can, unless if you let them, but you don't let them when you have those things. You see, we do allow others to take those things away from us when we don't really have them, right? I talk about false confidence in my book, right? False confidence is when you're confident in an ability, right? You're confident in playing the violin, being a tennis player. You're confident in your job description and what that takes. You're confident as a mom. You're confident in a certain thing, maybe a few, but you're not confident within yourself. And see, I was never any of these things, nor did I give myself any of these things before I did the healing. My happiness was always dependent upon someone else, right? I didn't love myself. I didn't have confidence. I didn't approve of myself. I looked to others like, really wish my dad approved of me. Really wish my husband approved of me. That's actually a true story. Read the book. I tried so hard to make certain people who, if they really loved you, you would just know all of that. But I really, really put a lot of energy into like, well, what do I got to do to get their approval and their love and their acceptance? The thing is that now that I've done the healing and I give those things to myself, I don't give two shits. The people now in my life, I attract different people, right? The toxicity that I used to attract, I wouldn't even look at today, ever. Because when you elevate yourself, you raise your standards. You have higher boundaries, your standards naturally, right? And that sounds like such a snotty bitchish thing, right? To say, I have high standards. I have boundaries. But if you know, right? When you do the healing and you do the inner work, you understand. If you haven't, it might sound a little snotty, but it's not. Because if you think about this, and in my book, I give this description about boundaries. Boundaries are like the fence in your backyard, right? If you don't have a fence, anything can get in your backyard. Any sort of like weeds, right? Coyotes, wild animals, whatever it is, a bad person, they can just get right in. There's nothing blocking it. And it's not necessarily that the fence blocks it all, but it does keep a lot away, right? So think about that with your boundaries, because what happens is when we let a lot of weeds in, it doesn't take many before they overgrow and you can't have any pretty flowers. You can't have any green grass, and you have to work really hard to get it all out. That's exactly how it is in our life. If you want your power and peace, stop giving it away. Start start giving it to yourself. And the way you do that is by creating your happiness, having self-love, accepting yourself, approving of yourself, and realizing, why am I even allowing this shit in my life? It's almost like there's a talk about flip the lens, right? We don't realize, but how we look through life when we're unhealed is just through one particular lens. And it's either we're either scared about thinking about life differently, or we just don't realize we can. But there is another way to do it. Flip that lens and look at life through a different lens, literally. Like, think about, well, you know, even if you, got a lot of inner work to do, you're smart enough and have common sense to sit and think about, okay, if so and so does really love me and they really like me and they're really my best friend and they really want me as their partner, um, should they really disrespect me? Should they cheat on me? Should they talk to me like shit? Disrespect me? Should they? Is that really love? Should someone who loves me and cares about me make me feel like crap all the time for just being myself and speaking my mind? The answer is obviously no. So why the fuck fight for that? It's time that we start to stand up for ourselves and say, you know what? Get the fuck out. Nice knowing you. Get the fuck out. Don't let the door hit you in your ass. I mean, my God, think about this, right? And I say this a lot, but think about this. You want new living room furniture, right? And you just like, oh my God, I really need new furniture. Like I can't stand this old stuff anymore. Or I just don't like that style and color anymore. Or are you going to go out and look for new furniture with that old crap sitting in there? I mean, can you even get it? No, you can't. You got to get the old shit out. You have to make room. It's like that in our lives. You can't go buy a bunch of new clothes if you haven't even cleaned out your other stuff. You have nowhere to put it. It's like that in our lives with relationships, except the universe is waiting for us to clean it out. And then the universe is like, oh, okay. And cleaning it out means getting rid of the weeds, the emotional vampires, doing the inner work and the healing. And when you do that, you elevate yourself. When you elevate yourself, it's easy to see and feel what empowers you, what excites you. And then, my friends, you can have your power and peace, instant power and peace, just like that. But you got to stop worrying and caring about what others think. What are they going to say? Who gives a flying fuck, right? I've never really cared about that ever in my life. But when I was unhealed, it was more about like, a narcissistic ex, right? It was more about, well, he's going to say something. I just don't want to hear it, or it's just easier if I just go along with it and just like keep the peace. Fuck that. Stop keeping the peace at the cost of your inner peace. No, that's not living. It's not worth it. Your inner peace is the most important. And anyone else who is worth having in your life, they're going to understand that. They're going to allow it. And they're going to do the same for themselves. You attract what you are. So if there's a lot of toxicity around you, you got to get rid of the toxicity within you. Okay? It's that simple. We all want to wait till like, I know this person's not the best for me, or it might not last, but like, at least I have someone. If you ever think that, you need to understand that you're scared to be alone with yourself. Okay? That is not healthy. That's a sign of toxicity. Do the inner work, because being alone is not being lonely. My friends, the loneliest I've ever been in life was in my last marriage. That person they didn't know I existed. They could be in the same room and it's like I was invisible. It was absolutely painful. There's infidelity going on and I'm just like, I'm in pain. I'm trying to keep my shit together. I got 3 kids. I'm trying to keep my brave face on. And that person's literally just talking as if I'm just not there. That's fucking loneliness. But because of that heartbreak, right? That heartbreak was sent to be my teacher, but I had to understand that. And I had to allow it. Because I allowed it, I did the healing. I elevated myself. I went to the next level in life. And in doing so, I realized and learned who I am, what I like, what I want. And I really, really enjoyed being alone with myself. And I still do today. right? As long as we're chasing after anything, we're not even allowing the right thing to come into our lives. Stop chasing. Stop worrying about what's the next event, what's the next this, what's the next that. What are we going to do? I got to plan it. I need it on my schedule. Bop, bop, bop. Just live your life. Let go of the reins. Let the universe, let God can have the will. All right. Let them have the will in your life. All right. All you need to do is make sure those tires are aired and there's gas in the tank. But as long as you're trying to control it and steer it, well, you're not going to your true destination in life, my friends. We all want to live the life of our dreams, to have true freedom, to have power, to have peace. But it starts within yourself first. You want power and peace? Stop giving it away. Stop worrying about what others think and what they're going to say. And if you find that you are, ask yourself why. Why do I give a shit? Because when you do the healing and you do the inner work and you shatter your limiting beliefs and you free your mindset, I say when you heal your mindset, you free your life. When you do those things, you don't give a shit about all that crap. You just don't. You can't. It's not possible. I hope this message has helped you all today. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think. You got a question? You got a story of your own? Let me know. Shoot me an email. Send me a DM on the Instagram. All right. I would love to share it live on this show. All right. Talk to you soon.